It's Mike Tatino with the Safety First Home Inspection Show.
So thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. Love being here. I love chopping it up with you.
Catherine, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. Good for you. I like it.
This is Mike Tatino with the Safety First Podcast Show. Today I have a very special guest, top producing agent, very close friend of mine, Mr. Walter Greene. Thank you so much for coming on my show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite, brother. Appreciate it.
Of course. So we're going to dive into it. I don't know if you remember how we met. Do you remember?
Instagram.
Yes.
Instagram. I think it was Instagram.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, you correct me if I'm wrong. You were with Exit at the time. I wasn't with Exit.
So for those, just to back, I was a real estate agent. I had my license for about a year or so, for those who may not know. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were with Exit at the time, and then you said to come over to Exit, I think. But you were kind of like, we were like kind of like friendly, like we were like Instagram friends, but we never met each other. And then the long story short of it is, I ended up coming to Exit because I knew the broker before I met you, and I walked in the office and you were there.
Yeah.
And you were just, I was like, oh, bro, what's up? Big daps.
Funny thing was that how I actually came across your page, I'm going to take it a step further. At the time, my girlfriend at the time was getting her real estate license too. And we were going to build this team and then, this and that. And I came across your page from her because she was following local real estate agents that were in our area. And that's how I found you, from her page. And that's how that all happened.
Yes.
Obviously, that didn't work out with that with that person. But,
to the left.
But that's okay, though. So I feel like up to this point, you've sold multiple houses. You've won awards. You've done a lot.
I just got to thank God first and foremost for all these blessings that I've gotten. But a lot of it is just through sheer hard work and just trying to outwork people. Of
course.
That's how I look at it. Wintertime, everybody wants to take off. I'm grinding because I know everybody else is slacking. Summertime, it's a Saturday, it's like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
No one's trying to work. I'm working because I'll be sweating bullets in that second floor attic, but I'm going to get that sale. So
of course.
That's how I was always looked at it.
So in order to accomplish what you've done so far, I feel like there's had to have been setbacks and mistakes, lessons learned up to this point. What are some of them that you've encountered that you've definitely learned from? Oh,
always to be prepared. Without a doubt. I had an example one time where I was driving to a listing where a person called me on the fly, so I didn't know I was driving to the listing. And I get there, I'm talking to the homeowner, they're loving everything I'm saying, and I didn't have a listing packet with me because they called me on the fly.
Oh.
They called me on the fly, and I didn't have a listing packet. I said, I'm going to go get one. Okay, come back tomorrow. Then I look up the next day. It's on MLS before I'm supposed to go to the house by another agent. So, I think being prepared is the number one thing for me that I always try to set that foundation on, following up with people before I meet with them twice.
Yeah, of course.
Always having listing packets. I keep flashlights. I keep a box cutter to cut anything, to cut a lot.
I was going to say, wait, you give a...
Funny story. I sold a house in Valley Stream in 2015. It was freezing cold. And the lockbox was frozen. I keep a box cutter in my trunk, so I took it and I kept chipping at the lockbox until I broke the ice. I get in, sold the house.
Wow.
Yep, sold that house. And I actually sold that house again because they ended up moving. So, just by me being prepared.
Have a box cutter.
Yeah, just have a box cutter. I keep an extra tie in the trunk. I keep extra clothes. You name it, gloves, lockboxes, chains. Oh my, So I think being prepared for anything and everything, tape measures at all times is the appropriate thing to do. And if I had to think about another lesson, man, I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is accepting that everybody's thought process is not like my thought process, and accepting the fact, even if I don't think this is maybe the best area for somebody, but they love it, I can't convince somebody. That's not my job, And then also taking the emotions out of certain things. Different people are logical, different people are emotional.
Now, what you said, thinking the best area for now, Give me an example of that.
So like an example of that will be like somebody could say, Walter, I want this big of a lot size. I want this great of a school district, even though I can't talk about school
I was going to say, yeah, we got to, yes.
So I can't talk about school district people. So, someone could give an example, say they want to be in maybe a CD area, but they told
What's that?
A less desirable area. So like a class A area.
Oh, okay. C,
B, C, D.
Okay.
So, they could say, I want a B school district, but they'll want a CD area. And I will give suggestions like, okay, this house right here fits your criteria. It's under your budget. And I think you should look at these websites right here, greatschools.org, for example, and to make a discerning factor from there. And people just like, oh, I don't care. I mean, it's fine. And it's like, it's not my job at that point. I'm not legally allowed to say you can't.
Correct.
You wouldn't.
Correct.
I just have to give you the information, and whatever you do with it is your choice.
And I'm going to ask you the same question as an investor, because you wear that hat also. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm a big component in leverage. I love tenants. Like my biggest goal, not my biggest goal, but one of my biggest financial goals is to basically have enough cash flow, which not only just pays my bills, but pays for my lifestyle, and that a comfortable lifestyle like that. And, I'm working my way towards there. I currently have a property, I have an investment property. I was speaking to you about another property, which I actually didn't hold on to it anymore.
You sold that one?
I sold it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. And Charles gave me some really great advice of how to, he helped me work around that property. And
so Charles is the #1 fix and flip investor on all of Long Island. What advice did he give? Or can you say it? Or
we'll chop it up.
Okay.
Let's chop it up. But basically, I was buying a property that had a tenant inside. And the tenant was being unreasonable. And the tenant really didn't have a leg to stand on. And I was trying to be diplomatic with the tenant. And Charles gave me some, unconventional ways to negotiate with a tenant in order to acquire the property, get it vacant, which I ultimately did. And I really thank him for that. And then it came down to a point where I was going to rent it. And, just cash flow. And my cash on cash was pretty decent. It was around 16%. And the neighbor from across the street just walks up one day and was like, I want this house. And I said, well, I'm renting it. He's like, well, I'll give you this. And I said, you'll give me that?
Yeah.
And then I actually reached out to Charles again. And I said, what do you think? He was like,
take it and run.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like a CD area where the house is located. And he was like, look at the prices. And I really feel as if I sold that property at the peak of the market.
Of course.
So, but that just opens up, as you said, as being an investor, now that we're going through a recession, even though it's not technically announced yet, it should be announced the next week or two. This is giving me more opportunities to dive deeper into my stock portfolio, dive deeper into my crypto portfolio, maybe another buy and holds.
Just mine is tanking right now.
I don't even look, but I will buy. I bought a few stocks over the past few weeks. Bought a little bit of crypto. If it drops more, I'll buy more.
Buy more. Now, one thing I've learned about you is that you're very organized. You're very disciplined, and you said before, you write stuff down, right? Like you track certain things, right?
Oh, every day. So, for example, if I have a drink, I track it. If I don't drink that day, I track it. If I work out, I track it. If I don't work out, if I read, if I don't read, and there's numerous other things like personal items on there, which I do or I don't do. So at the end of every month, especially at the end of every year, I review, and I always try to make sure my numbers are progressing in a positive direction. So it's a way of kind of holding myself accountable. Yeah, I need some accountability in my life. I need that in my life.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But I'm a neat freak, man. I leave everything a certain way. If it's not the way I put it, I'm very organized in that sense.
OCD a little bit?
Borderline.
So within your career, you've won multiple awards. I've witnessed it myself. What does it take to get to that level? 'Cause I'm sure it's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's communication. You have two ears and one mouth for a reason. And a lot of times people will tell you what they want. People will tell you exactly what they need. You just need to ask the right questions. So if you're listening to what somebody says, you're not thinking about responding, you're actually listening to hear everything they're saying, I mean, you'll be able to find the right questions, which, you know, I kind of feel like what's, besides God giving me blessings, the thing that's really provided me a lot is just I build a really strong relationship with people. You know, I'm really cool with a lot of my past clients. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of ones I'm like,
thank God it's over with. Yeah.
Don't ever call my phone again. You know,
of course.
But I mean, a lot of my past clients I'm really cool with, and it's to the point where I go to their events, they come to my events. I mean, you've been to some of my barbecues
At your house, yeah.
Yeah, more than half the people are my past clients.
That's awesome.
You know, so it's just building a really good relationship because I feel like if somebody wants to do business with you, they have to trust you. So first they have to like you. Then they'll trust you, and then they'll do business with you. You know, and then if you have all three, they're going to push that energy out to everybody in their inner circle, which in turn just leads to, you know, monumental growth.
Were you always this way before real estate? What were you doing prior to real estate?
I gotta take a sip of water for that. This is a good story, man.
And how long have you been a licensed real estate agent for now?
10 years.
10 years, okay. So 10 years ago.
Okay, so a little over 10 years ago, I was a jack of all trades. I was cutting hair. I was valet parking cars. I was a receptionist. I was personal training. I was doing this, that, and third. I've always been a hustler, you know, through in and out. And I'm a receptionist in Hempstead at this firm. And, you know, I get cool with the other receptionists. And long story short, it's like every guy's fantasy. I ended up dating a woman that was twice my age, you know? And, you know, she had this huge house. I mean, you're from Long Beach. You know Long Beach.
Yes, I am.
Beach Street.
Yes.
Huge colonial on Beach Street, at least 4,000 square feet. It
Wow.
solid brick.
What was she doing with you?
So I'm sitting.
I'm just kidding, by the way.
No, it's all good. So I'm sitting in the house one day. You know, I'm having my my beverage of choice at that time. And I'm like, you know, look, not from nothing. Like, how did you get this house? Like, you're a receptionist, I'm a receptionist. Yeah. And she looked at me for what felt like an eternity and was like, you should do real estate. I said, real estate? And she's like, you do this, you do that, you do the third, you do all these little hustles. Why not put this into a hustle that's going to make you some real money? And the seed was planted, and like I literally couldn't wait to go home.
Was she in real estate too, or no?
Her ex-husband had a mortgage company. So hence the huge, ginormous, solid brick colonial. And I just ran with it, bro. Like it just couldn't escape my thoughts. It was like my law of success. It was my definite chief aim. You know, that's all I thought about. So when I hit the ground running with real estate, I was still doing all my little hustles when I first started. And then I was like, this real estate thing's not working. And the first firm that I worked at, there was this old school guy named Desmond, real cool guy. And he was like, Wally, stick with it, you know, the great ones fall through the cracks. And I was like, you know what? I got to go all in. I quit all the part-time jobs.
What were you struggling with as far as getting into the real estate industry?
Struggling with getting business. You know, I remember my first listing appointment I went on. I walked in the door and I said, hi, my name's Walter. And they said, how old are you? And I was like, oh, dang. No shot again.
Yeah.
So at that time, I always had sideburns. Then I had to grow a beard. And I grew my beard a little bit bigger to look a little bit older.
Yeah.
And every time somebody asked me, like my first year in real estate, how long in real estate? I said 3 years.
Yeah.
And I said that until I actually had 3 years in the business.
And it worked.
and it worked. But, you know, I would just, nobody would do business with me. And then I just say, you know what? If sellers won't let me sell their house, I'm going to work with all the buyers. And I was just a monster. I was going, look, how much money you got? 20 grand? At that time, houses were going for like 350, 400, maybe 5. I was like, you got 20 grand, you got 25 grand? I'll get you down payment, closing costs, I'll get you in a house. Under $3,000 mortgage. It was all day, every day. You're paying 25 in rent, I'll get you a 3,000 mortgage, and then you could house hack your basement for 1,200 and you pay 18. And I was just killing it with first-time home buyers. And as I hit year 5, 6, 7 into the business, all those first-time home buyers who were the only people who wanted to work with me all became sellers. And they want to buy another house.
Repeat business, yeah.
And that's kind of like how I feel like everything started to snowball for me.
And that obviously takes extreme level of discipline, and you have to be your own motivation when people are telling you no, you're going on these presentations being turned down. What's going through your mind as like, what was there a crossroad where it's like, maybe this is just isn't for me, or
I definitely got to that place. I definitely got to that place because like at that time I was renting an apartment. Rent had to be paid.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm a big believer. It's like I work really good under pressure. When chaos is going on around me, I have a very slow heartbeat. I can kind of slow things down and look at all things from all angles. And I just said the way I'm going to perform the most is just by quitting all my part-time jobs. And I have to force myself to succeed. And that's exactly what I did. And, luckily I started advertising, put everything on the credit cards, and said, Jesus, take the wheel, and the Most High got me. So,
do you recommend that business model now?
Well, look, today's market's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Today's market's a little bit different. That was when it was that's when it was a buyer's market, 13, 14, 15, 16, it started to shift. So it was completely different then, even though now it's kind of trending toward that,
Correct,
but it's still not even close to being comparable.
So it obviously boils down to, your mind frame, when you're going through adversity and challenges. What books have you read, or what are you reading now that is definitely helping you?
I think the book that really changed everything for me was The Laws of Success, Napoleon Hill. I feel like that's the book.
That's not The Secret, right? That's something else.
Yeah, it's just The Laws of Success.
Okay.
And it starts off kind of slow, but I feel like that book literally changed my life because it broke down so many different things. Every time I read that book, I read it every year because every time I read that book, I'm at a different point in my life where I now start to see things a little bit different.
Who's the author?
Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
That's a monumental book for me. I love that book.
It's like Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Of course.
I love all those books. I text you sometimes. Hey, what you reading right now?
Of course.
So I grab books off of you.
Of course.
I got Outwit the Devil from you.
Did you finish that yet?
Yeah, I finished that. That was
phenomenal book.
That
right?
was a great book.
Yeah,
that was a great
definitely.
book. Mike is the low key book hack.
I am.
You just gotta holler at him.
I'm the plug.
What's the next book?
Yeah.
I just finished Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bateman.
I'm reading that now.
That's an awesome book. I love all his information. And I'm starting a book now called Cues. I just did the first chapter yesterday. I started Cues by Vanessa Van Edwards. I really like her her nonverbal communication.
Okay.
I think it's very important in this business as well.
Yeah, of course.
Take advantage of that.
I would say some of the books I would recommend is The E-Myth. That's a very, very good one. Have you heard of that one?
You told me about that one, but I never started it.
It's why small businesses fail, just because the owner of the company tries to wear all the hats of the technician, the manager, and I believe the other hat is the entrepreneur. And I was to a point where I was guilty of that, trying to do everything at once. I'm doing a home inspection, answering my phone, checking my schedule, it's just, I'm getting in my own way. So, and that book delegates, systems and things like that. I'm currently listening to The 4-Hour Work Week. I told you about that one too.
Oh, and I use the advice. Yeah, I don't know if I don't
pick
know.
Up the
yeah.
Oh yeah,
phone.
we can't talk.
Yeah, I can't.
That's off air.
Yeah, it's off air. But
sorry guys.
Yeah, but I got a lot.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely works, and I want to give a shout out to you because, I've known you for probably like 7, 8 years now. And I'm really impressed, man, like how every single year you manage to like conquer a new feat. And like if something was your weakness, it's like you just attack it full on. And then it's like, I feel like you're the definition of take one step a day, but at the end of the year, you just took 365 steps. And now it's like a huge monumental
100%.
change.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
I mean, I see the progression with everything you've done, from being a realtor, contracting, getting into the home inspection, flipping, the salsa, the dancing.
Yeah. So I took salsa lessons for 6 months straight. I was there like 5 days a week, bro.
Oh my!
I eat, sleep, and breathe salsa dance. Like it was pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean,
and I have a few. So I'm not gonna say it on air because I like to show people, but I have a few other new journeys I'm starting, which I won't share it until it's my reality, obviously.
Yeah. No, I'm again, man. It's just like you motivate me a lot.
Thank you.
You know, see, I get up at like 6:30 and work out.
Way too late,
You're up at like 3-4 o'clock
4 in the morning. Yeah.
Like,
so to talk about that, the reason I'm up that early is because it eliminates all excuses. I don't have enough time. What time are you waking up? If I start my day at 6:30 and start working out by then, I just feel like people, it gets to a certain hour where people are not comfortable texting you things, or they need stuff from you. As business owners, we have to be available for our clients, and there's no worse feeling than like your phone buzzing during like a workout at 7 in the morning. So at 4 o'clock, everyone's still sleeping. There's no distractions, and I get to be selfish with my time and hold myself accountable. There's no such thing as I didn't have enough time to read, exercise. If people, whether they pray or meditate, whatever it is, to feed their spirit too.
I mean, you're built different, man. You are built different. But that's a great thing. I always thought a little different growing up, and I always used to like doubt myself. Like, am I a little weird because I think this while everybody else thinks that? But no, man, that just makes you you. That's why you're really successful. That's why you're literally blowing up everywhere.
Well, I don't have a backup plan. That's the biggest. There's two things that have been my key, my foundation to the success I've had so far. Is one, I don't have a backup plan, and two, I learned what didn't work. I was in different industries that for me just didn't work out. And I know people say, don't give up, but there are certain times where you kind of have to, I don't want to say throw in the towel, but you have to realize, all right, this isn't working. And then in my case, someone that I knew was a part-time home inspector, and he was talking about it. And then I realized I know real estate, I know construction, home inspections is a combination of both. And I was like, you know what? And then the minute I decided I'm going to get licensed, I had no backup plan. I never questioned, is this going to work? How am I going to do this? I'm going for this, and that's it. There's no safety net, and that worked out 100%. I have you on my I have a podcast show. This is fucking insane, bro.
Yeah, we're
this is crazy to me. Like,
I made it.
Like, but there's no backup plan.
Yeah.
This has to work. This absolutely has to work.
And I think that's just where the hustler spirit comes from.
The discipline is, like, that's why it's like, I don't have time to sleep in and waste these hours. I have to get busy. Like, that's just how I'm built, bro. It's just like.
When is the last time you slept in?
That's a good question. I slip up every now and then, but I have good reason to. Like, if there's a networking event or something, but I went to the YPN event. For those who don't know, it's the Young Professional Networking event. Top agents, there was like 200, there was at least 200, 300 people there. I got home late, 11:30. By the time I showered, was in bed. I was in bed by midnight. 4:30, alarm clock went off. I got to get busy. I got to hold myself accountable. Again, I don't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
It has to work. It absolutely has to work. So that's my motto. So if anyone's watching this, you can't worry about, what if, because then you're putting that into the universe, and that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
It's not going to work out now because you're believing that, you're manifesting that.
You get what whatever you give comes back to you. So
yeah.
Give it your all, and everything will come back to you.
Yeah, and it's the same. And what I've learned with this journey too is that I've hit milestones, but I'm very hard on myself. So what I've already done up to this point, I don't view it as much. Even though I've done over 600 inspections, I've met some of the top people, this and that. They know me, but I feel like I'm just getting started now. Now it's like, all right, I've done this. I need to start doing this now.
You done climbed that mountain.
Yeah.
And that mountain was so high. Then you got to the top. It's like, oh, there's another mountain.
There's another mountain. There's another and I love doing that because now every day has purpose. Every morning I'm waking up, I'm going towards this. I'm going, okay, every day there's a new challenge. Now I'm all for resting too and listening to your body and not burning out, but I'm not the person for the most part that can just like sleep in and watch TV or like that's just not me.
Hey, yeah.
I can't do that. So since we've known each other for these years, I must say, and I've told you this many times, I cannot give you the full credit of your leveling up, your success, because of your partner.
Yes. Yes.
So let's talk about it.
I mean, that's something else. That's another chapter. That's another part of the laws of success. You know, a man can't reach his full potential until he finds the right woman. And I firmly believe that, in the sense that, you know, like Eb, my fiance, has.
Shout out to Ebony.
Shout out to Eb. I love you, babe. So, I mean,
she's amazing.
I mean, with her, I mean, she's forced me to like level up in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And level up in a lot of ways because she doesn't accept mediocrity. You know, like she made me step up, even like eating cleaner. Like I never used to eat vegetables. When I was living my single life, and
I remember, right? You used to have the chocolate milk.
Yeah, like chocolate milk.
Or Nestle, I should say, right?
Yeah,
Nestle, that's what it was.
The Nestle chocolate powder.
Yes.
I'd make like steak and like some kind of macaroni and cheese in the box, and I'd be gone. And she was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And at that time, I used to get headaches every now and then.
Yep.
And then she comes into my life. I start eating clean. I have no more headaches. She's helped me improve hygiene. Not that I've ever been a dirty person, but like she just introduced me to different things. And she's just like, she won't, like if I feel lazy a day, she'll be like, "Yo, what are you doing right now?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Let me get up. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do the third." And I give her a lot of credit in a sense that she puts up with me, because I know I'm a very difficult person to deal with. I'm very stubborn. I'm a Capricorn. I'm very hard-headed. But she forces me to continue to level up. And, you know, she's given me the greatest blessing that I could ever receive, which is my son.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I haven't met him yet, but I'm just...
No, nobody has really met my son.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like, nobody's really met my son yet.
Okay.
He's 5.5 months at this point. You know, he's like the joy of my world, man. You know, like I just love holding him, playing with him. He's like, he's starting to learn how to crawl right now. You know, he's saying like little milestones. I'm like in the crib, teary-eyed. Yeah. Yo, Walt, you crying? Nah, I ain't crying. You know,
cutting onions in this room.
Yeah, like it's you know, being a father is such an awesome feeling, man. It's like I can't wait to like coach the baseball team,
of course,
coach the basketball team. I want to be part of the PTA.
Teaching him how to drive one day.
Yeah, how to drive. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna keep him fresh. Yeah. You know, and that's another part about finding the right partner, because, you know, I literally would pray to meet somebody like her. Like I was like, obviously I want somebody who's, you know, physically attractive. But I was like, I want somebody who's smart. I want somebody who doesn't need me. Yeah. In a relationship, you know, I want somebody who has their own. But at the same time, it's still nurturing. It's still, you know, not that just feminine. And she's all of those things that I prayed for, and I'm very happy, and I'm very thankful that God let us meet, and we actually met because of real estate.
Really?
Long story short of it, I sold one of my. He's none of my now friends. How I said build relationships. I sold one of my friends, Leonard, a house. And Leonard became an agent. He actually works with me now.
I met him before, yeah.
You met Leonard.
Yeah, I know
and he works with me now. And then Leonard had a birthday event in the city at PS 450. And we're in the club, you know. Drink a choice. Yeah. Drink a choice. And I just see these long chocolate legs across the room. I'm like, okay.
But like, you know. They didn't know, Leonard didn't know her, though, or she was just at the same place, though, right?
She was just at the same place. They have... her sister and Leonard's wife have like mutual friends. Okay. So, you know, because of real estate, you know, we're there, and, you know, I love me some long chocolate legs, and
the rest is history.
The rest is history, you know.
That's awesome, man. And one thing I've learned about you is that if you don't know Walter, he goes ghost for like a few months. He doesn't post on social media. But then when he comes back, it's like, yeah, I just bought another house. I just did, and just hits crazy milestones, and just is so quiet and like low key about it. And then he pops up out of nowhere. I'm like, bro, what have you been up to? Like,
yeah, you know, it's you know, I'm an introvert at heart, but because of real estate, I have to be an introverted extrovert. So I don't like posting like a lot of achievements and milestones, because I don't know. I don't like being the center of attention, but because of this business, I need to garner attention and give it out. So, I don't know what it is about me about that. I keep saying I'm going to change that.
Yeah.
And just be more. But I am going to slowly change that. But again, man, like sometimes I'm just bunkered down and I'm focused on something. Like I just don't need any distractions.
Of course.
What's
one of your craziest real estate stories? I know there's many.
Oh, there's many. You were actually there for one, but I can't talk about that one.
You can't talk about, okay.
That one, but.
No, okay, we don't.
But I've had some crazy stories where, I'm going through a crazy story now where I'm not going to say the person's name, but you did their inspection 2 years ago. And
a
buyer
okay.
for me, and they're finally about to close. After 2 years. It's going to be like a whole separate story, but we were under contract for 2 years, and the seller, because the prices went up crazy, tried to say, we're not selling you the house anymore. And we had to go through Liz penances, and I learned so much of legal process with this.
But nothing to do with the inspection. I was going to say.
Oh, the inspection was perfect.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, wait a minute. It's because of me?
No, definitely not because of you.
Nervous.
I have another client who I've had her listing since 2018, and I still can't show the house.
Wait, hold on. Go back to the 2-year thing. Hold on. So you're under contract for 2 years. They want to sell it for more now because of the pandemic and everything, interest rates.
They want to sell it for more. And we had to put a Liz pendants on the house because they were trying to sell it to somebody else.
But you're under contract, though, or they can't.
They try to say all these different things to cancel the contract. They try to find every loophole in the world.
But were you already fully you were? Okay.
Executed the contract. And my buyer was supposed to close in September 2020 when the interest rates were she was going to get 2.25%.
My God.
2.25.
Yeah.
Now, when she closes,
6 and change.
She's going to get a 6% interest rate, which isn't fair for her. Yeah. But she's going to walk in with $150,000 worth of equity in the house.
But is she still
Oh, yeah.
So, but they're still qualified now for the same amount, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Everything is still qualified.
Okay, good.
When I tell you the story, once it happens, you're going to be like, oh, that's who it is. You're never going to believe it. You're never going to believe it.
As far as the buyer goes? Or
the buyer.
Okay.
You're never going to believe who it is. But you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
And then the other one, you have a seller.
A seller. I've had her house listed for 4 years.
Yeah.
And
4 years.
4 years. I mean, she is she's so cool. She's I don't know. She's really like a friend.
Yeah.
She came to my baby shower, my barbecues and everything. She's so cool. And, her family is doing her dirty where they won't move out the house and won't pay and say they own the house, but they don't own the house. And she's been paying the mortgage for 4 years. And it's so real that when I met her daughter was a senior going to college. And now her daughter just graduated college.
Oh, my God.
But just like my other person who had waited 2 years, their tenants are finally going to be out next month. And again, this goes back to just relationships with people. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of other realtors, maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, but would stick around for 4 years. I'm not just sticking around because it's business. I'm sticking around because the person is just really generally cool. Because if you're a headache, I've told people, buyers and sellers, this isn't going to work out. Your energy doesn't match mine. You're too negative.
Yeah.
Or if they're just rude.
It's not worth it, yeah.
Yeah. But, but another crazy story is another woman you inspected her house, and not because of you, and the buyer was crazy.
Wait,
it was a 2-family in Valley Stream, and she was going to get
Yes, I remember this. Yeah.
She was going to get the house for $605, right? And she was like, I'm going to do a lead paint test. I'm going to do a air quality test. I want to do a soil test. And she was driving everybody nuts.
This was the seller that said.
Buyer.
The buyer that said, okay.
She was driving everybody crazy. Yeah. I mean, I was on the phone till 10 o'clock at night. We finally go into contract.
I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I finally go into contract. The pandemic happens. She's like, the prices are about to drop. I'm overpaying for this house. I'm like, just relax. She's like, and then she forced her way out the contract. She just started just making things up. And everybody was like.
She gave me a hard time too, actually.
Yeah, everybody was like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I remember her.
And then the seller was just like, yo, I don't want to sell this person the house. They're like, there's something seriously.
Yeah, for real.
But so she gets her money back. I've never spoken to her again because of the way she handled business.
Yeah.
She just started lying on and just saying whatever she could say to get her money back. The funny story is I was referred to her by her mother. Her mother is my past client for like the last 7-8 years.
Wow.
She has a 2-family and I always rent it out. And, you know, I've done other sales for her and everything. The mother calls me and goes, Walter, I want to apologize for my daughter. And I hope that we can still do business together. And I hope you don't take it personal with everything that happened. I'm not involved in that. Right. And I was like, Miss such and such, we're good.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with your daughter. I just want to do business with her.
Yeah.
She's a nice lady.
Right.
I just want to do business with her.
I remember that.
But with you, I would do business all day, every day. And then since then, I did two more transactions with her.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, again, it's all about just relationships, not taking things personal.
Of course. And for those who are getting their license or they're a new real estate agent, if you think this is easy money in this business, it's, you show a house, place an offer, 1, 2, 3. That is not the case. You are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy that the market is shifting because now, if you had your license and it doesn't matter if you just got your license or you're a seasoned vet. If you were a lazy realtor, you made a lot of money over the last 2 years. No matter what. And you didn't have to do anything. Yeah. But now that the market is shifting, it's getting back to people who have skill, people who know how to negotiate, people who know how to communicate. I mean, realtors who are just nasty are now calling saying, good morning.
I was,
how you doing?
We got to dive into that because a lot of realtors that I work with, so for those who don't know, most of my referral partners are buyer's agents that are out showing houses like Walter is. And they said the same thing. They said, now I'm getting follow-ups on, hey, how did your showing go? You know, what was the feedback from, your clients?
Yeah, it's amazing. And, I don't forget anything. I would never like jeopardize the deal because of my personal feelings with somebody.
Right, yeah.
But the amount of slack they have, if you go on my phone right now and type in the word dirt,
blacklist,
you're gonna see dirtbag realtor number 1 through like 20 something.
Yeah.
And the ones who get special names, they get elevated names per se that.
Yeah.
Because I don't do people wrong in this business. But if you do me wrong because you just think you could just talk to me however which way you want, and
only because you have a listing, it's like
But guess what, boo boo. I do a lot of business too.
Yeah.
And you're gonna call me on my listings. I'm gonna let you in.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I'm never gonna, because this is what's best for my client.
The buyers, yeah.
But the amount of slack you get,
yeah.
It is what it is.
Unmatched, yeah.
It is.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, if someone's looking to buy or sell, how do people get in contact with you?
Oh, I mean,
how do they find you?
Look, I'm Walter Greene, Mr. Real Estate. I get it done already done. So you could find me on Instagram at Mr. Real Estate. I'm on. You type in my name on Google, you'll see all the websites pop up. Just put Walter Greene Real Estate, everything will pop up. I'm very easy to find. I answer my phone from 8 a.m. until, I like to say 9, but Ebony's watching, so 8 to 8.
8 to 8.
But I'll probably answer the phone. If I'm not in the shower, I'll answer the phone. And if I can't answer the phone, I'll text you and then I'll call you back after that.
Perfect. Walt, I really can't thank you enough for your time on coming on my show. I really appreciate it. I'm in your corner watching your journey, and I'm super excited to where you go next.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, and God bless you too.
Thank you.